welcome to another episode of Playing Telephone. I'm Scarlett Sanchez.
I'm Dennis Kluba.
Good morning, Dennis.
Good morning. We rarely do morning episodes.
Yeah, we usually do though, like in the afternoon, night. But it's about 3 a.m. here in LA. Dennis got home late from a trip, and I work super early, so we're up before.
I feel like I'm literally like on morning show though, like a news host.
Hello, welcome. Wake up with us, LA.
Yeah, seriously. We're happy to have you. This is hour one. And I think that you're going to work, so you're like ready to go.
Yeah.
I'm like mid-sleep, just like what?
I had to throw a few things at you. Wake up. No,
okay, I'm here. But I'm excited. Obviously get to do the pod back in LA. And of course there's amazing topics that happened over the past week. So let's just jump right in.
Let's do it. Yeah, I think the biggest story this past week was Britney Spears. She has new news that we can talk about too, but also the big thing was Vegas. She was there actually celebrating her book, which is going to be coming out in October. It's called The Woman in Me, and she finished writing it. So her and her team and Sam, her husband, went to Vegas to celebrate. They were staying at Resorts World, or they were there, and then they were also getting dinner at Catch LA. And that's when she went up to go say hello to the big NBA player,
Victor Wembanyama.
Yeah, I didn't say that.
Yeah, you're good.
Victor. And she wanted to go tap on his back to be like, hey, and wanted to get a photo with him because I guess she's a big NBA fan. Did not know that.
No.
She wanted to say hi. And there was a bunch of people around her, and his security, backhanded her in the face.
Yeah.
Which was crazy, And her glasses fell off. She didn't fall, but there was like a little bit of a back stumble.
Sure. So many things to unpack.
So many things, yeah. So yeah, like we were saying, that was for the book celebration.
Yeah.
But obviously that brought Sam coming forward to saying like shouldn't be using violence. Britney put out a statement eventually, but it's been in a way split because Victor's side of the story was that she grabbed him from behind.
Right.
Therefore, his security felt the need to protect him.
She was a threat.
And he reacted. And Britney's side is, no, I just tapped you because I was trying to get your attention.
Yeah.
And video shows, because now there's video of it, that she did really just tap him in the shoulder.
Yeah.
But regardless of that, the security did not need to backhand her. I don't know if it was a random reflex where you kind of just boop, and you go, but also security should be trained not to do that.
Completely agree.
One, you could get charged. This man is not going to be charged for hitting Britney, but like that could have been an end result, especially if a fan decided to press charges. I think Britney chose not to, and yeah.
So this was in Catch LA. I haven't seen the video. Was he being, or the security team being swarmed by like a bunch of fans?
There was definitely people around them. I've seen. I mean, think about when you see, I don't know, the Kardashians walk out and there's a bunch, but they usually block it off. LeBron James. I mean, there's always going to be, if people recognize
they're walking
you,
out.
They're walking into the restaurant.
Into the restaurant. Okay.
Yeah.
And so is Britney at the same time. Somehow?
So I think she was also going to dinner there with her team and Sam to celebrate the book.
So we haven't heard from Britney in a while, which in my book, great things. It's a great sign.
Good sign.
But this happening, when I heard this, when this was sent to me,
I did not think this was real.
I was, and obviously, like you said, you can be sued over this. Thank God she's okay.
Yeah.
But this is...
Do not say the word.
Hilarious.
This is not hilarious.
If she wasn't okay, it wouldn't be funny. Wouldn't be funny. Obviously, the person that did it fully needs, like you said, as a security member, be like, okay, there's better ways to solve this. I should not have that immediate reflex.
Yeah. He is a rookie security person too.
Rookie security person.
Digging.
Yeah.
And he's been on the Spurs security team, for like 6 months. But still,
6 months. I mean,
he's the director of security too.
Well, then he's probably had other jobs that he should not be.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna cut him some slack for that.
The way that Britney handled it, though, to be completely honest, from even her own statement on her story versus the one that was clearly scripted, like we said, was generally a very good reaction.
100. Yeah, I agree. I think she handled the situation very well. I think Victor actually handled it poorly.
Yeah, I mean, did he say anything?
No, not really. He hasn't apologized to her. There's been reporters saying, are you going to apologize to Britney? Are you going to have your team apologize? He ignores them. And then he spoke after, he spoke before Britney did. And that's what made her react. Because I think she would have possibly just left it. But then hearing that, oh, Britney Spears grabbed me. And then that upset her because that's not true. Excuse me.
You're good. There was no part of you that chuckled at the absurdity of this headline.
My jaw was dropping,
yes.
So no.
Okay, not chuckling.
I wasn't like, No, I thought it was...
What you did was what I did.
Yeah, you were giggling.
Yeah.
Well, that's because of all of our background that we have covering Britney Spears. But yeah, I think, so first she put out a statement that Dennis and I read, and it was very put together. Violence is not the answer, period. XYZ, period. We know how Britney Spears talks, and there's usually emojis, there's usually exclamation points, there's usually caps, dots. So that's why the other one that she did put out with a photo in the caption, you could tell that she wrote. Yeah. And she was honest. She was like, working in the industry, I've had some of the biggest people that I've been around, which is true. Yeah. I mean, first of all, Britney Spears alone, but then working around NSYNC and all of these massive bands. And she said, not once have I ever heard of security hitting a fan or hitting someone. So she was just saying, like, get it together, essentially. Yeah. And you shouldn't be using, force and violence by any means. And she did say, though, like, she was angry and she felt supported, though, by the people that were around her. Yeah. Which Dennis also felt was funny. Yeah. But she is still an NBA fan and is still a fan of Victor, which is also kind of, I get that, though. It's not his fault, but I would still be pissed. Like, why did you say you grabbed me when I didn't?
Okay. First question is, in any regard, especially what we've seen lately happening with fans at concerts, throwing things at people, bizarre things happening. Earlier in the year, we talked about fans like grabbing people like at concerts and things like that.
Machine Gun Kelly grabbed him
in the crotch. Is there any world in which like you're at all backing up the security guard saying like, you don't know what that person was trying to do, or if they're coming from behind or something like that. Okay, who is this? Yeah. Who is this arm? It's like, I think that they should have rose above in the situation and probably, like you said, handled it much, much better. But for some reason, it's like, I almost, given the current climate and with the number 1 NBA draft pick, I almost am not surprised by the response, especially from like a rookie. Yeah. They should be apologizing. And I was more surprised that in that moment, you were saying that Victor didn't put out a statement, hasn't really like apologized or said anything about Britney and her team. Yeah. In that moment, I just think of other big stars, like in the NBA or NFL. I'm surprised they didn't turn around and see that it was Britney.
They didn't realize.
And be like, oh my gosh, like this is Britney Spears. Like bigger than I will at least be for the next 10 years. Right. Her career and being an icon. So I was kind of surprised by that.
Yeah. They didn't realize it was Britney until hours later.
Well, she was wearing glasses.
And also speaking in a British accent when she said that.
See, when you make me feel bad about thinking things are funny, you're over here like, this isn't funny. And then you're like, well.
The British accent, she's been known to throw that out. But like, still though, regardless of it being Britney Spears though, it doesn't matter though. Because even if it was or was not Britney Spears, he still shouldn't have thrown his hand.
Yes.
Wrong. Don't do that.
Wrong. Would we be hearing about it? And how often does this happen if it's not Britney?
No. I think that they really should have just apologized and
right off top
went forward with it. And it's like, hey, you know what? We were in the climate of today, exactly how you said it, because it is true. We live in more dangerous times or It's more prevalent too. So they should just be aware of that. But also the security team, like, why wasn't somebody standing behind him? Isn't that kind of security 101?
101. Scarlett's like, when I was in security training, I was always at a 6.
I'm just thinking about all the celebrities I've seen, and they usually do have them like
little
wrapped
semicircle,
around.
yeah.
I'm like, oh dang it, I can't even like get in there.
Also, what they should have done is immediately, like you said, apologized and used it as a moment to be like she handled it so well that if I was Victor Wembanyama and his team, I would have been like, from a PR perspective, oh my gosh, I was so embarrassed. Like, I'm a huge Britney fan as well.
Yes.
Like, I love being in the NBA. Like, love like American pop, you know, like music and culture. People would have been like, yeah,
amazing,
like cool. We love Britney.
He dropped the ball.
Also, or their PR team did for sure, and literally, okay. And then the other thing that you just said is talking about crazy fans. The idea that
Britney
Spears is speaking in a British accent, fangirling over somebody. I'm beside myself. She almost proves the point of crazy fandom.
Yeah, I get what you mean. She didn't get the photo though, so.
Oh shoot.
Shucks.
Okay, and then the other thing, of course, that happened was Britney fans don't sleep. They literally are.
Never.
They're a full force.
Yeah.
They're not. I don't know if they're comparable to Swifties or BTS Army, but
I think they are.
they're in there. They're strong.
They got her out of conservatorship. I think they top all fan groups.
They do. Basically, in Victor Wembanyama's first summer league game, which is like the preseason for the NBA season, he was playing, and he's the number 1 overall pick. Supposed to be unbelievable.
Yeah.
He
the
didn't,
next LeBron, right?
He didn't do great.
Oh.
In his first game.
Maybe you should have apologized.
Right.
Say sorry.
And the Britney like fandom on Twitter, on Instagram is just trolling Victor Wembanyama like, oh, big number 1 first pick, don't hit our girl.
Good.
I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, this kid is like 19 years old, coming over from France, just trying to survive. It wasn't even him who hit her.
He's getting the...
And he's like, I still had 20 points. And they're like, but you'll never be her. I'm like, oh my God. And then, of course, the second game, he came back and had like an insane like 45. But first game jitters. But it was unbelievable to me that I can't imagine a ton of Britney fans. Maybe they are like her and are huge NBA fans. Yeah. I don't know.
They're gonna start pulling up to his games.
Yeah. And
apologize.
Oh my God.
But yeah, that is true. It wasn't even really him, but he does have some sort of responsibility. Like, if that was LeBron's team, LeBron would have already said something, honestly. But that is somebody who's been in the industry and has dealt with this for a long time. So
you have to take responsibility.
Victor's got some things to learn.
Yeah. He's like fucking Britney Spears. Okay.
Continue on to more craziness.
We're moving on to
madness.
more, insanity.
Cannot.
So Jonah Hill.
Yeah.
Recently, what had happened was, and this is something that's interesting because for the most part, he stays kind of out of the limelight, I would say, especially as of recent.
Yeah, and the reasoning for that is he talked about like therapy and his anxiety attacks. He doesn't want to do any more public appearances. One off social media completely. So
yeah, just to kind of protect his own mental health, which rolls right into what kind of was going on with his ex, Sarah Brady, who came out over the weekend and was basically like, I'm seeing all this stuff over Twitter, Instagram. I'm sure people commenting on her things saying, oh, Jonah Hill was great. Like, some things like, wish you guys were still together. Like, he's awesome. Like, sucks you guys broke up. And she's like, I'm seeing all this everywhere. Yeah. So I just wanted to clear the air and say, Jonah Hill is not a nice guy. And more than that, he's basically, I think she said, like,
emotionally abusive,
misogynistic, manipulative, and
controlling.
Screenshotted his ass.
Instagram story. More screenshots. I got them.
Yeah.
Boop, boop. Yeah. She put him on blast.
Yeah.
That's for sure. They dated for a little bit over a year in 2021. So everyone is kind of wondering, like, this is a year and a half later. So they broke up. He's actually with someone else right now. Olivia. They've been dating for almost a year now too.
Yeah.
Because there was definitely some overlap, at least based on the screenshots that she was sending out. And then he just had his first baby with her too last month. So the reasoning that she said that she came out with this and waited for this point was she didn't want to put stress, I think, on Olivia while she was pregnant.
Fair.
So now she's saying, like, now I want you to know who this person is that you're with, and you can make your own informed decision for you and your child, now knowing how Jonah Hill is, if you haven't already seen it.
Yeah. And if you don't know, Sarah Brady, I think, is a professional surfer and model.
She is, yeah.
So that should just
She's
give
in
you
law
some.
school. She's 26 years old. Yeah.
What am I doing with my life?
Yeah. Yeah. Law school, professional surf instructor. Yeah.
Model. Oh. Super chill.
Yeah. So the first, though, texts were they had been in therapy, is what she was sharing. And
like couples therapy?
Couples therapy.
Right.
And which just that in itself, you guys are only dating a year. What's
Bizarre.
going on here?
Yeah.
And I believe they talked about boundaries and different things that you want from your partner and needs that you have for your partner or from your partner and in the relationship. And he sent her a text of all the things that he needs and what he doesn't want her to do, which essentially was like, do not surf with men. Do not have inappropriate relationships with men. Don't model. Don't post pictures of yourself in a bathing suit. Don't post sexual photos. And don't be in unstable relationships with women or friendships with unstable women.
And you know what sucks is those are my favorite relationships.
What?
The ones with unstable women.
The ones with unstable women.
Yeah. That one really pissed me off.
Which is really hard, though, because surfing with men, does she have to get out of the ocean? If like, oh, man's here. Got to walk on out. And she's also going to be in a swimsuit. That's what her job is. So he essentially doesn't want her to wear a swimsuit.
And also like, okay, and this is the part that's really like gray area, I feel like, and what people are kind of becoming more aware of as this story has kind of unfolded is using to a certain degree the veil or like the shield of therapy as a crutch or to basically kind of like hide behind insecurities that feel controlling or manipulative. And it's like, well, you're harming my, mental or emotional state. Yeah. When in reality, like you were saying, all the things that he was asking to happen, I get that maybe there is to a certain extent. Yeah. But some of those things were just so unreasonable. Like some of the ones that I remember she was like being asked to take it down. It's like she's in a one piece surfing, doing what she does. Like if you don't want to date a model, then you can't date a swimsuit model. I'm sorry. That's just, you don't want to, it'd be like if you told somebody, hey, I really don't like when you post pictures with animals. You got to stop being a zookeeper. Right. It's like, well, that's my job.
That's essentially what he was asking. A list of demands that would take her away from what she does, which maybe is at his goal. He wants
ISO.
Yeah, he just wants
dependent isolation. That got dark.
Definitely a lot of manipulation and controlling messages that
tactics.
He sent, and a lot of different tactics, and it was definitely a rough one.
Solid text.
And then she did some more follow-up text. And those ones were what was showing because she asked, like, can you please let the current person that you're with, because he let her know in August of 2022, hey, just so you know, out of transparency, I am actually dating someone new. She said, okay, thanks for letting me know. Then the next day you could tell she kind of thought about it. And she was like, hey, I don't know if this is really my place, but you should probably inform this person. Like, you've been texting me and like leaning on me and really getting support from me as partner. It was almost like they broke up. Whenever they did break up early 2022, but he was still depending on her and they still had some sort of emotional relationship and also semi-sexual, because in July he was sending her like dirty texts and everything. So they were doing some sexting as well.
This is 22.
Yeah, in 20, yeah.
But him and the other girl are already together, Olivia.
Yeah, apparently. There had already been paparazzi photos, because then she even said a screenshot where it was a photo of him and Olivia kissing that the paparazzi got out on the beach. She's like, also, can you please let your publicist know that this is not me? Because in the headline, they were like, Jonah Hill kissing Sarah Brady. She asked, please have them
remove that
or edit out that that's not me. which made me feel like, okay, obviously there was some overlap. I don't know if she was pissed about that. So she was also wanting to put him all on blast for everything that he'd said. But yeah, I think that he was definitely hiding behind the whole therapy and thought that that was his way of being able to send this list of demands. But also, why is all this in text? Like, why aren't they having these conversations in person? Like, I feel like we don't know the background of, like, did the therapist say, send your list of
demands,
needs, demands? But I think I feel a little bit split, though, on the whole text message thing.
Okay.
Part of me is like, I think it's good that she's bringing, you know, awareness. I don't know if I even want to call it awareness, but she's showing people like, this is what an emotional abusive relationship can look like. Yeah. A. Point B, though, these are also very private messages. If anybody put your text messages out, wouldn't you feel completely violated? Like, what world are we living in that you can just, I mean, everything is accessible now. That you can put voice messages online, you can put voicemails, text messages. Like, obviously, you can screenshot anything now. Yeah. Photos. I mean, you can't go anywhere without a video being taken of you. So.
For sure.
I know. I don't know. I just think there is a level of privacy.
There definitely is. I literally I put a thread out the other day talking about like what is the correct order of operations on if you do screenshot text messages. I think you should let the person know that you're going to upload that if it's a funny thing or whatever you're going to do. Be like, hey, you had a funny text. Can I put that on my story or something like that?
And I've seen you do that.
Yeah, and people are like, yeah, for sure, that's funny.
And I feel violated.
And a lot of times I black out even who it is and stuff like that.
Right.
The other thing though is that like I just cannot believe that like if somebody screenshotted my text and then put them on the internet, number one, I wouldn't be worried at all because I've never said anything like this.
Yes, man. Yeah. Valid point.
Like if you, it'd be like, would you want someone coming in your house and finding something? It's like, well, they're not going to find anything. So
let them.
Yeah, it's like
screenshot it.
Why do you have anything to hide? Also, this is all in the background. If you didn't know, literally a year or two ago, kind of during COVID, Jonah Hill releases this documentary called Stutz, which is all about him and his therapist, and basically a movie that's all around his therapist thinking and him being this kind of champion for new wave modern therapy. And seems like I've watched parts of it. I don't think I finished the whole thing, but it was good. Yeah. And I'm just like blown away on, ooh.
Well, is that another tactic of his?
Is that like you said, is that the therapist saying this? Is this Jonah Hill, who we know is in therapy and is getting help for different things? Yeah, I don't know. You fired therapists before.
Been there. I have fired my therapist.
It's a tough business.
Don't defend him. His therapist is definitely Team Jonah though, 24/7. Like, you want your therapist to give you some perspective, if and be like, Jonah, maybe you're being a little bit controlling in this, but she's feeding into his controlling already being and is like, yeah, send off a list of demands, Well,
I think at the same time too, as a therapist, like the only side you hear for the most part, even I don't know if they're doing couples therapy through him. I'm sure they were.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
for her therapy too.
Manipulation.
Yeah. He said he would pay for it till the end of the year too. Okay, sorry. Keep going.
Your benefits last to the end of the year. But is like, you're only hearing it through Jonah's side. So if you're a therapist, it's like, if he's always telling you one thing, it's like, as a therapist, you're kind of hands off of, this is what I know, and I'm going to give my opinion and thoughts based on what I know. But if you're Sarah and you want to say something that's like this, as a therapist, you're like, I didn't know that any of this was happening. Yeah. So I do feel a little bit of sympathy, but I definitely also know and feel like this therapist is going to get major backlash because having an individual kind of act the way that Jonah seemingly is acting from these text messages is not a good reflection of the individuals that you really want to be associated with, helping improving their mental state, their emotional state, etc. It's like, oh.
Yeah. And even just take this situation away too. Like, I've heard that Jonah Hill isn't the best person to work with on sets either. Oh, and then also that news came out from that Zoe 101, Alexa Nichols. She said that when she was 16 years old, he forced himself on her, and like they went out to smoke a cigarette at some party, and he just like pushed her against the door and started making out with her. So that came out on top of this news. Mm-hmm. And then a lot of people have just been coming forward in general. Like Bethany Frankel said he was a complete dick to me. And other people on sets have said that he was really difficult to work with. And he's like really disrespectful and a-hole and all of it.
It's kind of funny. I was like going back and watching some clips, and it was like Seth Rogen and somebody else on. Yeah. I don't know if it was Jimmy Kimmel or if it was Jimmy Fallon or one of the two. But they like said... name like most difficult person to work with. Yeah. And basically it was supposed to be like, I think of this or that. Mm-hmm. And right off the bat, Seth Rogen goes, Jonah Hill. And it was like one of those ones where you laugh, but like.
But he was kind of serious.
Serious? Yeah. Also, I feel bad for him. Like his two best friends growing up were like James Franco and Jonah Hill.
And that did not.
Bad Company, number one. The other thing that is so enticing about this damn story is Devin Booker, number one, posting on a story after this dropped a picture of Jonah Hill in a Suns jersey. And then he also, what else did he do? He also commented or put again on his story some emoji with another Jonah Hill.
Okay, so he's showing Team Jonah Hill.
Support for Jonah Hill. At which point other people are like, in another reporter or like person on TikTok was talking about, okay, if you're referring to Kendall in this situation and you're telling her in similar lights to stop posting pictures in bikinis, stop hanging out with guys. For example, Michael Rubin party happened over 4th of July. Mm-hmm. If he was there, she wasn't. She was there. She wasn't there. I don't know. But either way, it's like, oh, you can't be hanging out with guys. You can't do this stuff. It's like, that is her job, is to post content, and she is a model. Yeah. If you told her to stop doing that, literally the Kardashian empire would come down full force, which is maybe what happened.
Yeah, maybe he was demanding, or he didn't like some of the things that she was doing.
I just could not believe.
But that goes back to your point too. It's like, understand who you're dating.
Yeah.
If that's something that you really truly cannot stand, don't date that person.
Yeah.
But with the support for Jonah Hill, in a lot of the comments that I've been seeing, a lot of people are supporting him. Like, it's totally understandable. He's communicating. He's letting her know like what he needs out of a relationship. There was a lot of positive. It's like, are those all bots? Is that Jonah Hill bots? His team? Like, support. Flood the comments. Because I was reading, I was like, wow, I'm actually shocked on how
it's like
much
50-50 or something, right?
It was almost more leaning Jonah Hill support, honestly.
Insanity.
The videos that I watched were all anti-Jonah Hill, but then if you read the comments, they're all supporting him. So that's what I was like, bots.
Does that feel at all like a result of the culture like right now and just like around therapy and
I think it could be that, which is why when we were talking about like hiding behind the therapy language that people use to get away with different manipulative wording. I don't know. It's a good point. Also, Candace Owens defended him. I don't know if you know him, but
her.
If you could support it by Candace Owens, that is telling something. You are in the wrong. She has the most outlandish. Oh my gosh.
When I saw that, your thought process was just my exact thought in my head. If my PR team said, oh, Candace Owens reached out for support.
Score!
No. I'm wrong. And I'm wrong.
You instantly know you're in the wrong. So Jonah Hill.
Damn it. Have him and his team really released a statement or no?
I haven't said anything yet.
I mean, how do you even step around this?
I am not controlling. I don't know. Maybe he'll drop a new docuseries or documentary.
Yeah, I don't know. I was also thinking about that story you're telling about him forcing himself, whether it's Britney Frankel or whomever, the Alexa. Yeah. I was just thinking him with his blonde hair now. It's pretty terrifying.
Yeah. Well, hopefully Jonah can get the help that he needs, and Sarah Brady's okay.
Also, do you remember, this is a quick throwback, like 3 or 4 months ago when Kanye West said Jonah Hill saved.
Also weird. All of these connections. Candace is a big Kanye person. Kanye posting Jonah. All right. All right.
It's like the worst mix of like individuals to be like big Jonah Hill fan. And I like Jonah Hill. I liked him
he has
before.
great movies.
And then I was like, what? Like this was news to me. And it honestly was very upsetting. And I hope that I'm obviously going to believe all you can believe is what you know and what the evidence is. And the evidence right now that we have is text messages, which text messages are pretty damning.
Yeah, those are, those will get you.
Especially in list format, paragraph format. You thought about that and said that.
Oh yeah. He probably drafted it up, backspace, did it a few times.
That wasn't off the cuff.
No.
Like, hey, like.
Bullet points. Yeah.
I'm feeling vulnerable right now. It was like, you can never again do this.
Never surf again.
Oh, the thing you love, take it away. But we'll see what ends up happening. Hopefully Jonah and his team release a statement. That way I feel like we can get like some kind of response or closure in this.
It's such a fake statement anyways. Whatever.
That's a good point. Well, maybe when we see him out.
Yeah.
We'll ask him. Yeah. Okay. This is just an episode of bizarre headlines. Kim Zolciak and Croy
Bierman, ex-NFL player. She's from Real Housewives.
We talked about this probably 2 months ago now, month and a half.
Yeah.
They broke up or were in this nasty divorce in which Croy was like claiming for full custody of the kids, basically put on blast that she had a gambling
he said that she had a gambling problem and she said that he was a drug addict, mainly smoking weed too much around the kids, so she wanted to have him drug tested. Lot of nasty back and forth. It all started though with them owing $1 million to the IRS. So they definitely had some financial issues. Like they've both been sued. He's been sued by BMW for unpaid bills. He's been sued by some like credit line where he went on a gambling trip at a casino. So he owes money for that. She owes money to Target. So they owe a lot of money.
Owing money to Target's like one of the worst places. Like that's. Don't buy the floor mat.
Yeah.
Do we need that candle?
Maybe it was for school supplies for her 4 kiddos.
It was a school supplies trip.
But yeah, I mean, one of the nastiest back and forths we've seen. I mean, constantly filing different court docs, like wanting full custody, like you said.
And this was after they had their own show.
Yeah.
Which for years, in which they had a great run of like seemingly a pretty happy family. He had adopted the 2 older children of Kim's, and you were like, obviously they jointly adopted, but I was like, we were stunned when this was coming out. I was like, this is not what we thought at all. And then now they're back together.
Back together. They both took away their divorce filings and they want to stay together now. Kind of came out of nowhere. Like you said, they've been together for a long time, 12 years, married, 4 kids that they share together, the 2 older ones as well. I mean, calling the police on each other too. It got really bad. So came to surprise. It's very weird. I don't know where this came from, really. I don't know if it was for the show, because obviously we're coming off of Scandal. I don't know. Is it they want all this drama for the show? They said that this would not be
part of it. I would hate if that was, just because I feel like, especially with family dynamics, children, custody, I think that's, especially when you're married, I'm not saying the Tom and Ariana thing is discounted because of that, but I feel it is a little bit where when you're affecting
children's
custody of kids' lives, I'm like, it's not fun to manipulate that situation for views, for tension, for drama.
This is a family here. Obviously, Ariana and Tom was a separate situation that was bad in its own self, but we can also get into that later. But this is a whole family. But then turning it around, we also got news that Kyle Richards, also Real Housewives of New York, and her husband Mauricio, who've been together for over 20 years, they said that they were separating too, but they are going to roll cameras for their separation. I don't know. It's very interesting. And that one was a huge shock to everyone. Now there's rumors that she's with country singer Morgan Wade. But they've both denied that they're splitting and that they're divorcing. They both put out joint statements and said, if you've been reading the news, like, this is not true. But we have been having a really difficult year of marriage. It's been one of the hardest we've had yet. And we're working on things. And then she's been out talking to paparazzi saying like she's not single, but then everyone's like tying in, oh, you're not single, so are you with Morgan Wade? So I don't know. It's also very bizarre just to couple that in with the Croy and
it definitely
situation.
Yeah, it definitely feels like in reality TV there is a conversation that's had of what, as a not necessarily couple, but almost as a business partner, are we going to let the season film? If we truly don't love each other anymore and we're not in it, it's like, okay, let's put the divorce out there because it's content. Or if you do, which I feel like maybe that gives some validity to Kim and Croy of, hey, we're not going to film that because that was a legitimate thing that's very serious to us and we don't want to air that. Which is, I think that's like a weird world we're living in of reality TV of, okay, what are you willing to put out there? And that's not even reality TV. That's like Instagram, YouTube, all these different creators that it's like, okay, so what's private? And what's not. It's a decision, I think, that everybody makes it themselves.
No, and I think you're right. I think that Kim and Croy were going through issues, and that's why they decided they don't want the cameras there. Because there are certain things that you shouldn't have to share. I wouldn't expect them to share that with us. But that's why, the Kyle and Mauricio situation is very confusing. So we'll just have to see how that plays out.
One of my favorite notes just before we leave this is they are not going to couples therapy. They are going to church, though.
They are
and they're staying with their family, 4 kids, 2 older daughters at church. And that's really all you need.
That's all you need.
They realized, let's get back to God. And this debt will just go away.
I know. They really have to figure out their money issues. That really does show, though, that the root of so many issues in marriages is money.
Well, God damn.
Don't just be swinging that credit card.
Don't go
go to church.
Number 1.
Go to church.
Number 1. Don't take out a line of credit to go gamble. Number 2, put down the Target card.
I know.
Oh my God. Either way, I'm very interested to see how that just continues to play out. Just being reality TV people, it's like, we
don't know what's true or not.
What's happening?
Yeah.
We're cynical, just constantly questioning. Speaking of constantly questioning, Jamie Foxx was seen out as if nothing even remotely happened.
I know. So remember back in April, he was filming Back in Action in Atlanta, and randomly he had to go to the hospital, and we did not get any answers. It was constantly framed as a mystery illness, a medical complication is what his daughter Corinne had called it. And we just didn't see him for months. And now we're in July. And finally we see him out for the first time, and he's on a boat on the Chicago River. Hey, waving along. He tweets, "Boat life, blessed." Then he goes out and plays Topgolf. And then there's also that really random story where he helped a woman find her purse in the streets of Chicago. What? How is Jamie Foxx just happened to be there for that? Saves the day. Here, woman, there's a video, too, of him returning the purse. I don't know. But with no word or explanation of where he was, Jamie Foxx is back at it again.
I am floored.
Yeah.
But also, okay, put yourself in his shoes or his family's shoes. We can speculate on what the illness is. You have a theory. If you didn't want people to know what you were, put in the hospital by, is the statement just to go along?
Excuse us, my alarm went off. This is when I typically get up. Do you know a new little tactic that I started? Whenever I'm sleeping, a little pro tip here, guys. Just say, "Hey Siri," and it'll stop your alarm. You don't have to roll over and go get it. Have you ever tried that? It's great. Okay, anyways, if you don't want to hit snooze.
Oh my God. So basically, would you, if you were in his shoes and you didn't want people to know, is your PR tactic, let's just act like nothing happened?
No, I think he should say something, because now everyone's just guessing. Drugs, was it this, was it that? That's where my first thought went, which, maybe that's not fair to Jamie Foxx, but Why aren't we saying anything? But everyone is very secretive about their illnesses. Oh, not Justin Bieber, though.
Don't make me do the face.
So, yeah, it was definitely very confusing. And then that also brought up the conversation because to finish that movie, they used a stunt double. And everyone's wondering, is this just a stunt double? He's only in sunglasses. We want to see his full face.
Oh, in Chicago?
Yeah, in Chicago.
That's hilarious.
But then the backlash to that was you guys asked for face proof. Like, you want to see his face, and now you get it, and now you don't believe them. So which one do you want? Do you want to see proof, or do you not? So a lot of interesting conversation around Jamie Foxx right now.
I think, like, this is another combination of, like you said, I think I'm not in PR, I'm not in publicity, but I'm pretty sure that 101 is make a statement. Mm-hmm. We've seen this like all throughout the episode today. Wembanyama, make a statement. Like Jamie Foxx, make a statement. Jonah Hill, make a statement. And not making a statement leads to more speculation. And then also the way that internet culture is right now, it's like people are coming out of the woodwork to almost like flood with just unbelievable opinions and like theories and comments. Mm-hmm. Like Jamie Foxx, not like, is this a stunt double? Is this a real person? Who is this? I'm like, I don't want to believe that that's true at all. The Jonah Hill supporters, I'm like, I don't feel great about that. Yeah. So that's where it's like, when you say nothing, it's just breeding ground for speculation and just opinions that are like left field. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how he could walk around and just be like, yeah, I'm at Topgolf.
I'm good. Yeah, it really does open the doors for anyone to say anything. I mean, they're going to say anything they want anyways, but I think it would bring it down a little bit. Okay, thank you. You guys shared that with us, but I mean...
Well, I think the thing is, too, is that we talk about celebrities so much. I'm almost positive that Jamie Foxx is a really good sentiment across the industry and from fans, that I would almost feel like not saying things, not being transparent about your health journey, even if that's not saying what you were hospitalized for, but just thumbs up. I think of like Jeremy Renner in the hospital, like giving a thumbs up, like being like, hey, I am okay. Yeah. All people want to know is that you're okay. Yeah. And that you are who you are. Mm-hmm. And like the basics. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And this is like weird that all these stories are lining up in the same way, but it's like also Britney Spears doing some odd things in some of the videos. Yeah. That's when people speculate. They're like, this is kind of...
Is she okay? Yeah.
And so that's all you need to do is post like a normal selfie that people are like, oh, that is really that person. Right. Sorry, like I just didn't want to talk about my health. OSHA.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Which is valid. He can do that. Yeah. Jamie Foxx was not open, but then we talked about Madonna last week, who's been very open about, at least to a certain extent. She said that she had a serious bacterial infection. Yeah. We don't know what caused that, but we do know that she had a fever for over a month. So she's been a little bit more open with her recovery process. So just to show two different sides of that.
And she put out a strong PR statement that sounded like her, was professional, was, open about getting stronger. This is the plan to get back. Mm-hmm. This is what happened. Yeah. And now, to a certain degree, I'm not going to speculate anymore on what the bacterial infection was.
Yeah, I'm good.
I'm like, all right, let's get back on tour, baby. Yeah. But then when you don't close the door, it's like, okay, what happened there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and she took her time to recover because there was a photo of her out walking in New York, and that gave us some, okay, we know she's now out of bed, because it was really serious where she was like in her bed. Well, like we said, she was found unconscious at first, and it was taking her time to recover, and she was slowly recovering and building up more strength. But yeah, she did put out a selfie like you were asking for, though, as well. Yeah. She posted a selfie, she posted a statement, and a lot of it was just like, thank you for all of your support and everything while I'm recovering through this. She said that she woke up from the hospital and the first thing she thought of was her family, and the second thing she thought was all of her fans, because she did have this promise to go on the celebration tour, which was supposed to start July 15th in Vancouver. And now but she did say in that statement too that it's going to be pushed now till October, so I wish she can fully recover from this infection that she had. But yeah, thank you, Madonna, for that update.
Yeah, seriously. Well, and that's all people want to know. Yeah, that's all they want to know. And it's like, to a certain, it's like selfie is not opening your whole life up to transparency and like, hey, here's my whole medical records. Here's what's going on every second of every day. It's literally just the same way you'd send a picture to your family saying, I'm okay. Had a bit of a freak out. Sorry I couldn't respond to that text.
Right.
I'm good.
I'm
you
good.
know, like I'm saying?
In the ambulance.
Yeah, exactly.
But I got a thumbs up.
I got a smile on my face. But yeah, she's going to be back on tour. She's going to reschedule the North American tour dates, which I guess we got to get tickets or...
I guess.
Really quick, weird, funny stories again.
Yeah.
Larsa Pippen was traumatized by Michael Jordan.
Yeah, traumatized. Well, she's dating his son, Marcus Jordan, and
Double take. She's dating Michael Jordan's son, Marcus Jordan. Go ahead.
Yeah. Double take. And she was previously dating Scottie Pippen, which is who notoriously has beef with Michael Jordan. So there's been, right?
Scottie Pippen, they're teammates they won all their championships together. Larsa Pippen was married to Scottie Pippen.
Yeah.
Had his kids.
Yeah.
And then now...
Why's there beef then?
Well, Scottie's pissed at Michael because because basically like Larsa started dating his son and Michael was like, yeah, I can't really like control it. And Scottie's like, you should say like, no, that's not.
Okay.
It's like if one of your friends wanted to date your ex.
My dad? Oh.
But it's like, yeah, no, but seriously, but the ex, like the friend is your son.
Okay.
Like, definitely no. Like,
a
definitely not a
hard no for
friend,
me.
but not my offspring.
Yeah. Well, she has this podcast now with Marcus, her boyfriend, and I forgot what it's called. It's like separation anxiety, confessions.
It's witty.
It's something cute.
Yeah.
And she was talking back and forth with Marcus about how she was traumatized because Michael Jordan was walking out.
His dad.
Yeah, his dad. You really want to keep... Am I saying the wrong name?
No,
You just keep clarifying.
I'm just trying to clarify, like, this is
Dad.
unbelievable. Yeah.
Michael Jordan's walking out, and paparazzi's like, hey, do you approve of Larsa and Marcus together? And he goes, no. Just really quickly. He kind of giggles a little bit, but then he just gets in his car and goes. Doesn't say anything else, which is perfect. That's great. And Marcus in the podcast is explaining, like, Larsa, this is how my family is. Like, we joke, like, it's funny. I didn't think anything of it, but my dad did warn me, hey, by the way, like, this video is probably going to come out. And Marcus was saying, I didn't think it would really blow up the way it did. And Larsa was like, I didn't think so either. But then I feel traumatized because I keep saying in interviews that, like, Michael Jordan gave us a stamp of approval, that our families are all okay, and now I look like a liar, so now I'm traumatized by him saying this, and...
That's so funny.
Yeah. So, really, really good.
That makes me a Michael Jordan fan more than anything.
Yeah, I know. It was a funny situation. But her and Marcus have worked through it, through a lot of conversation, and they're going to be okay.
I really don't like, and people come for me on the age gap stuff. It's not even the age gap thing there. It's just like I don't enjoy a lot of you dating your friend's son, kids. It's just it's a weird line to cross.
Yeah.
I don't care about the age gap, obviously.
Yeah.
But it's like it makes me feel uncomfortable. Like dinner is weird.
I think you're in the majority here.
Okay, good. I'm glad.
And last thing, a little bit of Vanderpump before we go is Ariana Madix. She's obviously been everywhere now with after Scandal and everything. And most recent news for her is we talked about it a while ago, but she officially is joining the new season of Dancing with the Stars. And then also news came out that she's going to be having a little surprise appearance on Love Island. Not necessarily as a full-on contestant, because as we know, I think she's still dating that boyfriend. Yeah.
Sorry.
Also a trainer.
Yeah.
He should not be in gym shorts. Being Jonah Hill.
Oh.
Do not post.
I was like, what's wrong with him?
Do not post gym videos ever. And yeah, but a lot of people were speculating either she's going to be contestant or she's going to be the host. But Sarah Hyland is still coming back, and she's going to, I guess, come in for an episode.
Yeah. I have said this from the beginning. This was planned. This is a cash grab. And it's not that the breakup was planned.
Yeah.
It was that Ariana knew that Tom was there was some cheating. There's no way there was 8 months or whatever the timeline was. At some point, they had a conversation behind closed doors that was, hey, we're going to break up. What needs to happen is she's like spinning in her mind, which I don't blame her for, but I think we're naive to think that this is all just falling into her lap.
Yeah.
I think it's like we need to be honest with ourselves and say, okay, you realize, oh shit, I got cheated on. We're going to break up on national television.
Yeah.
I'm going to spin this for me. Mm-hmm. And
what
bless
does
her
Tom
heart.
get out of this, though? Sandoval.
He doesn't. He cheated. That's what he got.
He gets Raquel.
Yeah, what he got was sleeping behind somebody else's back for months.
Okay.
And that's what cheaters, like, that's just that's your reward in that situation. And for her, and I don't even know if they had like a conversation on how this is going to play out.
Yeah.
She's just spinning in her own mind.
Yeah.
Let's play this out to where I'm the hero. He's the villain. I get all the brand deals and I get all the asked to be on those shows.
Yeah. She is benefiting, honestly, a lot now. So tragedy brings.
What's your heart worth? What's
your heart worth?
What's love when you could be on a cameo of Love Island?
Put a price tag on being cheated on.
You get to dance around for 6 episodes. Samba.
The samba.
And tonight, our animatics with The Waltz. Hi, we thought we did really good. Other than that, I think that wraps it up for this morning.
This morning. It's still dark outside.
I love that this is like a morning show now.
I know. It's been great.
Wake up, LA.
Well, thanks for listening. Follow us at Playing Telephone on Instagram, TikTok, and full episodes are also on YouTube now.
Yeah, bear with us. It's like 4 a.m, so like midday. The YouTube will get up.
It'll be there.
Yeah.
It'll be there.
Thanks for listening. Bye.